Let's get after it, everybody. Let's get into our week 5 recap. Chase, I hate to do it to you, but it's only because I love you enough to rip the Band-Aid off. Why don't you lead us off with whatever happened down on the Gulf Coast there?
Yeah, not a fun weekend of football results for Chase here. To top it all off, my team that I've been a fan of since I started watching the sport absolutely failed me, at least offensively. And I think it's the 6th year in a row, the home team won in this matchup of LSU versus Ole Miss. Man, God, I really I was insanely ticked off basically this entire game and afterwards as well. It was not a good Saturday night. So, um, well, the offense still doesn't look good. Garrett still seems to be somewhat injured in some way. I mean, he was underthrowing some throws that last year he was hitting. I don't understand why they're either underselling his injury or they decided not to talk about it for like I think 3 weeks until finally they were like, "Hey, I know he sucked against Florida, but let's talk about how he's injured now. Now we're talking about it." I mean, we saw it in the preseason that he had this injury in the preseason. So I don't know why it was so underplayed until now. So obviously, it's their wins aren't looking that great right now with how Clemson's been playing. Florida, I still think is a good team. They just have the similar offensive woes that we're having, except with more turnovers. Uh, Mainly, I think our offense, the biggest struggle on our offense, it isn't even Nussmeier. It's the offensive line. They can't even. I, so many plays in that Ole Miss game, they were rushing 3, and they got to us every time. Like Garrett was so uncomfortable in that pocket, and they were rushing 3. And sometimes they had they had 5 linemen, and sometimes they had a running back too, also blocking, and still 3 were getting to the quarterback. How are you gonna score? How are you gonna push the ball down the field when you can't protect the quarterback against a 3-man rush? It's pathetic. So I know we lost, like I said in the SEC preview, that we lost a couple people to the draft, first and second rounders, and that hurts. But usually we reload, and I was really hoping these boys would step up. And to this point, they have not. So they need to get better out there. Garrett needs to get better out there. Less dropped balls in this game, so it wasn't as much on the wide receivers, but I want to see more out of them as well. Durham was injured, so he was out for this game. So we had his backup running back in. He played okay for a backup. He had a touchdown in the game. But our run game was struggling for the most part. We had to do some bootleg runs through Xavier Thomas to get the ball moving at all. So, but one thing I noticed in pretty much every LSU game so far this year is that we have exactly one drive where it's like the most perfect offensive drive I've ever seen from the team. It's perfect. Like it's absolutely flawless. Probably like 2 or 3 long throws down the field or short throws that turn into long gains. And then we score a touchdown early in like the first quarter, 7-0, 7-3, whatever it is. And then we fail to replicate that the rest of the game complete. Like it's like they forgot how to do that. We can't do it again. We just can't do it. So I don't understand it. So offensive woes are still there. The defense is still good. Unfortunately, their third down defense was not as good as they were in past games. They need to step up on some of those like 3rd and 11s and get off the field. One thing I will give them is this Ole Miss team is a good team. I don't think they're number 4 ranked good. We'll get into that later, but they are a good team. Playing at Ole Miss is a tough game to play every year, and they beat us. Kudos to them. They played really well. I got to give it to them. However, that one pick 6 that got called back for PI was atrocious. I'm sorry. Like I get it. It looks like the guy grabbed his shoulder and yanked him a little bit. The wide receiver literally overran the route, and then the quarterback threw it to where he was supposed to be. The wide receiver was not turning around to get that ball. That was a pick 6 going all the way. It should not have been called back. And if that happened, it would have been a very different game. I don't know if LSU would have found another way to lose there, but that was a 14-point swing right there because that Ole Miss ended up scoring a couple plays later because we had like 50 yards of penalties on that same drive. I don't know. It was a very, very frustrating game outside of maybe like the beginning of the first quarter and that first drive. Like it was super frustrating. I'm telling you, if they don't get that offense together, they're looking at another 3 or 4 loss season. And at that point, get Kelly out of here, man. I cannot stand another plateau year. Like you've been here, what, 5 years? Do something. Do something. You can't keep making excuses. Do something. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that for now.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be a frustrating time to be a Tigers fan because with all the potential that is on that team, and a team that when there is hype about them, because that's the thing about LSU, like either gets hype, and usually when they're this hyped up, they're usually following it up, like historically. And this was the year that you guys had all the pieces, and it's not over. Like, let's be real. It is absolutely not over. There's a lot. We're not even halfway through the season yet, not by a long shot. There's plenty of time to correct it. Ole Miss is a team that has gotten a little bit better every single year that Lane Kiffin has been there, and they're looking really, really good, and especially their offense. And say what you want about that game, LSU did. I mean, 24 points is still a reasonable amount, but this is a team that's capable of being explosive at just about any step of the game on just about any given play. And you guys held them, I mean, to a reasonable amount, which is something that not a lot of people have been able to do this year. So yeah, if that offense can click, but yeah, rough go on that one. Just because I don't want to talk about 2 SEC games in a row, how about we go with the big primetime matchup in the northern part of the country?